Hi everybody, my name is Linus Mel and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 3 things I made mistakes on this year that I will correct for next year. So hopefully you enjoy this video. This is the state of my climbing rose. It was very healthy in the spring, but as you remember, if you've been watching my video, my feverfew grew up to close to 5 feet tall, 4 feet tall, close to 5 feet tall because it was almost my height. And that being tall limited the air circulation around this area. And so when it got really hot and we'd had a lot of rain, it was a perfect environment for the black spot. And so the leaves from the spring growth got infected with black spot, and then they all fell. And this is what I was left with. On hindsight, I should have trimmed most of these side branches into this short, so that at least you can see some growth coming from the short stub, and I'm not, and we don't have a long exposed stem with no leaves. So next year I will have to cut them down over here, and hopefully I'll get a better show, because eventually when you prune the blooms off, they will regrow, just like these ones here now. So if I had cut this one down here to over that side here, then the growth will come out from this and we won't be exposed with this long, empty, bare looking stem. For next year, I should also be more mindful that I should be doing some Chelsea chopping. This is my Veronica hastata. Grew tall, like 6 feet tall. And if I had cut it midway early in the year, then I would have more side branches like this. That's more useful for flower arrangement. It's still quite impressive the way it was. But the stems of these particular plant was strong enough that it didn't flop as much, but would prefer it to have more usable stems. So I don't know if we have enough time in the year to get this to grow and create these smaller side shoots, but we'll find out. I did enjoy having them in the garden, and the bees did as well. This is my bed of feverfew. When they finished blooming in the spring, I cut them down to the ground, and what I was left with was a lot of empty ground. I have since planted lantana when they went on sale, so I have some color in the garden, and just to make sure that there are still roots growing on the ground. I still had roots in here, but the ground was exposed to the elements, so there'll be more likelihood of erosion, and the microbes will also be exposed to UV light with me, which means that they'll be less likely to grow, or in other words, they will die. And also having the ground exposed to light meant that I had a lot of weeds popping out as well. So moving forward, I think I'll make a note to save some annuals. Hydrozenias that do very well, like that. It's a floret zinnia. It's not as big. The bloom is not as huge because it doesn't have regular irrigation, but it will survive this condition here. I'm assuming that we don't have extreme drought, but a lot more annuals here for next year in time for me to plant out when I cut down the feverfew. So when I cut these feverfew down to the bottom, it will regrow just like what these are doing now. Stumps are usable. It's not, it's not 4 feet long, but it's enough for a cut or vase arrangement. About 6 weeks for it to regrow. If I didn't plant the lantana here and some salvias for 6 weeks, this would have been empty, and that's not good for the soil. So there you go. If you've reached the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. I try to show up here every Thursday, and until I see you again, bye for now.